like every time. How y'all doing? I'm here. My name is I'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa, people making a difference in the Tulsa community, special guest interviews, spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about, the hot topics, and more. This is World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Miss Damali Wilson.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the World One Development's News You Can Use. This is a month number 2 of our show, and we want to thank everyone for either listening to the radio or watching us on Facebook. We really appreciate that. I'm your hostess, Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, aka Hump Day, March 18, 2020, and we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
So on today's show, we're going to talk about what the world's talking about, the coronavirus or COVID-19, the latest developments on a national level.
We'll also talk about the coronavirus is affecting us on a local level.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are justice for Julius, the 2020 census, and the National Guard being deployed.
This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. Stay locked in, and we'll be right back.
I totally forgot you switched mics.
Yeah, so I'm like talking.
So I'm so used to having them right next to each other, I had to clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you think? That song, huh?
That's the theme song.
That's Charles' theme song. But it
That's
is kind of
Charles.
damn though. That's like, hey.
Big back man. Come on.
News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
And we're back. So News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood, and we felt that the community needed to hear about those things so we can support one another.
I'm Charles Harper, Executive Director of World One Development, which includes Fitting Back In, EduRate Youth and Family Fun Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job is financial stability and infrastructure for our community development projects, and I am excited to be one of the curators of this phenomenal show.
And I'm Damali Wilson, Executive Director of Operations for World One Development, and my job is creating, monitoring, and enforcing protocol for each of our community development projects. I'm also in charge of the social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, please inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I'm also happy to be one of the creators of this show.
The coronavirus has gone wild this week on a national level. What in the world is going on? Damali, what are you thinking? I know we doing our 6 feet of the
social distancing. That's what it's called.
We working. What's going on?
Man, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. So, last week, or I guess on March 1st, we actually talked about this on our show,
right?
The last show, right?
We did.
So March 1st, nationally, there were only 70 cases in only 6 states. By March 15th, which was just a couple of days ago, we have 2,800 cases in 49 states.
Wow.
Now, Johns Hopkins University is currently reporting there are 6,420 cases, and that was last night as of 7:33 p.m. So, and we have cases in all 50 states. So who knows what's happening? I mean, it's just going crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like beep, 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 Houston. We got a problem.
A big old problem.
We got a problem.
I mean, man, schools closing, restaurants closing. You can't go to the gym. I know that's a problem for you.
Oh, that hurt me. I don't know what to do. I'm going back to my old school penitentiary. Now, wait a minute. Now, I haven't been to the penitentiary. I haven't. Nothing against people that have been to the penitentiary.
Disclaimer.
It's just my penitentiary workout. It's just what I call it. It's kind of like when you grow up in the hood and you don't have weights that people come over and they just be like, let's do some push-ups and let's do some other things.
Right. Man, this is crazy. Anyway, so I'm hearing that nationally there's over 100 deaths. Because of it. I know, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's
Man.
a lot. And the thing about it is this, when you think about it, who could prepare for it? I mean, we kind of talked about it and we mentioned it last week.
Sure.
Just more of a, and I don't know, nobody was ready, so I'm not putting blame on nobody. But I just remember, I was listening to the news and Trump was like, oh, no big deal. By April 1st, this going to be over. Not that I'm just saying you really couldn't gauge.
Correct.
How serious this thing was going to be.
Right.
Based on maybe just us overall being a little relaxed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think so. I think that we have been desensitized.
Right.
Because social media and, the access to information is so great that when you hear about something, you be like, it's just like a fad. It's just like, you're not really taking it serious as you should, as serious as you should be taking it.
Well, somebody sent me a text message. You know how we in this new age now. So all they texting me, showing me a bat in some soup and it's in China. And
yeah,
so when I'm looking at a bat in some soup in China, I'm not thinking Tulsa in a couple
we're gonna
weeks.
be on lockdown.
That don't really connect. So, but the bottom line now, it is serious,
Very, very serious. And, the people that are actually dying are people who have some kind of health issue already or they're elderly. So it's just not a one of, hide your wife, hide your kids type of situation, people need to be informed. So what I'm trying to do is post things on World One Development's Facebook page that are, the truth and that give information and resources to people so that what's going on.
You've been doing a pretty good job. Shout out to you on that. I've been following. I'm like, is this the real news? Well, I guess we are. World One Development. We giving people news they can use.
Right.
You've been giving it to them on that. So
yeah.
If you listen to this on the radio, you need to go like our page, World One Development, because like I say, our goal is always to give you some news that you can use. And Damali has been putting a lot of good stuff on there that I think is news you can definitely use.
Right. And so I was listening to, and which I've been listening to MSNBC, every day for hours, just because I want to know what's going on. And I have grandchildren, who have respiratory issues, so I don't want my babies to be in harm's way, so I want to know what's going on phone so I can call my daughters and say, stay at home, don't go nowhere, And so that's why I've been listening. But I was listening today, and they're talking about that the White House is proposing some sort of because to help them cope with this economic crisis that we're having right now, because people can't go to work. I know, I mean, for us, we had to shut down our spring break camp.
Oh, that hurt me.
Oh my God. That was the hardest decision ever.
Yeah, they don't know because you just don't know. That's something we do every year.
Mm-hmm.
We do Asbury mission trip as part of that.
Yep.
We was in partnership with Langston University, OU. We have some TU people come out, a lot of kids from all over the city. Had our teachers lined up. We had all these programs.
Yep.
It's a lot of work that goes into a
And
spring
we were
break
going
camp.
my biggest thing is we was going to the Oklahoma Aquarium.
Oh.
Our kids loved that last year.
No, I loved it. I was
Okay.
ready for the sharks myself.
Right?
And they just
we had to shut it down.
But we'll just say, to the parents, just know that was a tough decision.
Very hard.
If you realize, now we didn't wait until the 11th hour.
We didn't.
Maybe the 12th, but maybe the 10th. But we was trying our best. But to be honest, I kind of consulted a little bit with Vanessa Hall Harper, our District 1 City Council. Because, your council is the person that kind of monitors your area. So
she also works for the health department, so she gonna know what's going on.
So I'll say, Vanessa, shout out to you, because kind of talking to her, and I talked to Dr. Crutcher and Chrissy a little bit, and they quickly brought me up to speed, like, Charles, no, you guys cannot do no spring break camp. And I was like, we're going to do spring break camp. The Lord is on our side, and the Lord is still on our side.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we still got to be wise in the things that we do, the things that we say. So with that being said, I had to deliver the news to Bishop and First Lady. Then I called Molly, and she was like, what? I'm like, yeah, this thing is not looking like it's going to get better no time soon. And we just can't put, our staff and the kids or the community at risk, So we had to make that tough decision. But we just want to say on the airway, we are sorry.
We really are.
From the bottom of our heart.
That was really hard, because I look forward to seeing my babies every year. And it's really funny because one of the little gentlemen goes to our church, and little RJ is not happy with me. Now, for people who don't know, that's my son-in-law. Even though he's only 6 years old, and my daughter's 22, but that don't have nothing to do with it. Anyway, it's a long story, inside joke. But anyway,
so let me ask you this: what kind of adjustments have you been making? You know what I mean? Because you're in the community, you're doing stuff all the time, you're running around everywhere. So, Tamale, what adjustments have you been making because of this?
So I really, I have self-quarantined myself. And I'm just being honest, because first of all,
hold on, you supposed to self-quarantine if you go somewhere. You ain't been nowhere.
It don't matter. Miss Damali, now anybody who knows me, ask anybody at EdgeRec, I'm a germaphobe, okay, already. So all you got to do is tell me that there's some creepy crawlers out there and I'm in the house.
I'm just saying, I assumed that you quarantine once you've traveled somewhere.
That is true.
Is that if you travel like to Florida, California,
abroad,
or hot spot, or is it
correct.
If you travel anywhere?
That is absolutely correct.
What's the rules to that?
However, that is correct. So if you travel abroad and if you get ill, so it's not even if, because if you're relatively healthy,
right,
you really don't have, I'm not going to say not worry about it, because it is a real threat to everyone, but it's more of a threat if you are, if you start exhibiting symptoms, like your throat started hurting, you got a fever.
Yeah, but just for clarity's sake, it's if you travel to Florida, if you come back, I believe you're supposed to have a 14-day
quarantine.
Quarantine, not just for you, but for your entire household.
Sure.
So that means if one person in your household, like if you got a college student that decided to go to Mexico or somewhere and they vacationing right now, does that mean when they get home that everybody in the household got to hang out with that person or individual for the next 14 days just to make sure everything is cool? So if you listening, your person come in from Mexico, once you give them a hug, sit down on the couch and get out Netflix. Y'all can't go nowhere. We just trying to give you some news you can use, because we trying to get through this thing together.
Exactly. We don't want you contaminating everybody else,
Yeah.
And so I heard that I was watching the news, like I said before I came here, and President Trump has issued, or the CDC actually has issued a statement, and it's called the 15 Days to Slow Down the Spread. It's actually on the CDC's website. If you go to the CDC, it's www.cdc.gov. And on there, it gives you, I love these sound effects.
Right. That's sneezing and coughing. That means stay at home.
Sneezing and coughing, get your wipes. I got them sitting right here. But anyway, there is something called 15 Days to Slow the Spread. So if all of the American citizens are utilizing this, then we should see a decline in the virus spread.
Right.
And it's simple stuff, like, if you sick, stay at home, which that's common sense. If you don't feel good, don't come around.
Well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how about get some toilet paper? Because it ain't none nowhere.
Now, let me
Somebody
just
clear that up.
address.
No, hold on. See, you've been the research master.
Right.
Why are people getting all the toilet paper?
You know what? It's beyond me.
Oh.
What are we doing?
So you don't know either?
No. I'm like,
shit.
what are y'all doing? Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to my mama. Mama, I just love you because first of all, my mama taught us, and we came up in a household where my mother always bought in bulk anyway.
Oh, okay.
So we already had paper towels, toilet tissue, hand sanitizer, Clorox wipe. We already had that. I grew up that way, so that's what I do in my household. And I taught my kids to do the same thing. So people out here fighting in these streets over some toilet paper. I'm like, y'all ain't got toilet paper at home?
I'm still trying to figure out the reason why. So you have, it's still beyond you?
It don't make no sense to me.
Yeah.
No sense whatsoever.
So that's just kind of what's going on nationally, and it's just crazy. So so Damali said that you don't need to go buy up all the toilet paper, because right now, Brother Charles is down to one roll. I got 3 in my household. Y'all gonna have to help a brother out. I ain't going out like this in 2020.
Ain't we supposed to share?
We supposed to share, we supposed to love, we supposed to care.
Why is people fighting? I saw on Facebook, it's a lady, she got like 15 packages of toilet paper in her basket, and one lady wanted one bag, and they fighting, they tugging the war over this toilet paper. I'm like, really, y'all? Come on.
I tell you what, we're gonna get back to it. Y'all stay locked in. This is news you can use on KBOB 89.9 FM, and we'll be right back.
Is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
Get Back In is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m.
I might as well drop a little something on you. Hold up.
Valley Val, Messy Mika, Sunshine, Randall Lopez, Oatmeal, and DJ Perfecto.
Yep, that's my crew.
Wake up every morning with your morning crew from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the all-new 89.9 FM Community Radio.
Who's that?
KBOB.
Oh, yeah.
Dawn Tree here, CEO of Underground Tree Studios. They're a one-stop shop for graphics, web design, and art. We do workshops, we do mural workshops. We also work with elders in the realm of technology. And if you're looking for a logo, a business card, or a website, we have you there. You can find us online at www.utreep.com. That's the letter U, TREEP.com. So if you're interested in any of these services, feel free to visit Underground Tree Studios online at utreep.com. Peace.
One more commercial.
If your credit starts with a 3,
60 seconds.
4, 5, or 6, this is for you. Did you know that it's costing you to have bad credit? You can't get qualified for that house or apartment and you're paying high interest rates, along with paying high car insurance, and it may be costing you that job that you really want. What are you waiting on? Take more of a holistic approach. Pick up the phone and call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. With 13 amazing services, we restore and repair generations to come.
20
Once
seconds.
again, call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. If you know better, you do better. Only the Credit Shiro can help you to save the day.
This is news you can use on KBOB 89.9.
KBOB, the home of the Bobby Eaton Show, the Juice Radio Show, and Two Dogs Radio Show.
I do it big, okay. You better RESPECT me.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Stay connected and call us now at 646-716-5525 and press 1 to go live.
This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM, and we're back.
Hey, so we're back, and I want to give a shout out real quick. We got a special guest in the studio, Matiana, Charles's daughter. She's kind of hanging out with us today and watching us get up here and give you guys some news you can use. So shout out to Matiana. She had nothing else to do. She was tired of being on quarantine, so
She came out
brought
with
on in the studio. Mike, she don't want to say nothing. We're trying to get her to talk on the mic. Come on, Matt. Say hi. Say hi to the people.
What's up?
There you go.
All
You can say a
right,
little
good
something. Say hi to the people.
Yes, yes.
Let's give her a hand just for saying hi.
Oh, yes. Good job, Matt.
Okay.
So let's get back to it. So here locally, man, it's just been a lot of crazy changes going on really, really fast, really, really quick. Shout out to our mayor, for making these hard decisions, and the whole team, all of our city councilors and everybody who is working with emergency management.
Yeah, he's been navigating. He's been navigating through them waters fast. It's like
shark infested.
By morning it's 250, then by noon it's 50, and after that it's 1.
Right.
So if you want to call in just to kind of chime in on this conversation, call us at 918-856-3873, especially if you have some information that we can use. So we'll go breaking news and we'll get you on in here. So hey, we just having fun.
Exactly. Yeah. So the mayor has signed an executive order prohibiting people from congregating, and he's shutting down restaurants, the inside. So for you to dine in, because we don't want that. Now you can go through drive-through all day long. So some of your favorite restaurants that have, dine-in practices, you can go in and do that. And even some of those who don't, they're making arrangements where you can call in, order your food, and go pick it up, but you can't stay there and actually eat, or consume.
Yeah. So that executive order is that, kind of elaborate on executive order. That means the federal government sent him something, or this is something that he does for his city.
So actually, the federal government is actually saying this. So he's kind of adopting some of the policies that are going on the federal level. He's bringing it, he's bringing it down to our city, and to help protect our citizens. And so I think the last time I looked, we had only 3 cases of coronavirus in Tulsa.
All right, so
there's other around the state, and I think the last time I looked, there was like 10 cases in the state for Oklahoma. So we're actually doing pretty good.
Yeah, but my thought with that is like the testing. I mean, how many people in Tulsa or Oklahoma is actually getting tested? That's what I kind of think when I look at it, is that if the test is not available.
Yeah, so you really don't know. So this is the thing, and this is what so here is Dr. Damali. This don't have nothing to do with nobody else, okay?
You're not a doctor.
I'm not, but we're going to listen anyway,
we're going to disclaim at the end of the show.
This is the thing. I think I really had coronavirus. I really do. So back remember, we were supposed to start our radio show in early February, and I actually had made a trip. And
I'm not going to have something to do with that. That's got to be yours.
No, and I'm serious. But when I listened to the symptoms, seriously, it was basically all the symptoms that they're talking about is the symptoms that I had. But the coronavirus is just, okay, first of all, do you guys know that the coronavirus has been around forever? This is just a different strand. Secondly, if you look at your bottle of Lysol wipes, it says on here that it disinfects for human coronavirus. So it's been around. This ain't brand new. Everybody act like this is brand new and it just happened yesterday.
And I think what to add too, because just with everybody going to grab all the toilet tissue and all of that stuff. The thing about it is a virus, and of course it is contagious, so you do need to take those precautions. But what we will say, you got to understand that 98% of the people will recover from it.
Sure.
We're just trying to do something to make it not be so widespread. So don't let this be something that make you all hysterical. You don't want to make this like freak you out and all of that. So just kind of wash your hands, watch the things that you are doing.
If you're sick, stay home. That's the biggest thing. When I was sick, I stayed home. I was in the bed, because I did not feel well. So that way I'm not contaminating everybody else. So if you just do the practical common sense things, then we wouldn't have this widespread. But I think people just are not
I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, but
Right.
But we need to be thinking about other people and not just ourselves.
And let me say this over the airway. Damali was playing. Damali ain't got no coronavirus.
He don't know.
Look, she hangs with Bishop, me, everybody. So she got to understand. You can't just think you had some when you in the midst of everybody. So either you did or you didn't. But you don't get on the radio and say that. That's not a good thing. That's not smart. We taking you off the radio show if you do something like that again. That's not how we roll.
Whatever.
You got the coronavirus. And you riding hanging with us.
I'm not saying now. I'm saying back then. We just didn't know that that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
So you're talking in the early 90s. Okay, continue. No. In the early 90s, back right when she graduated from Booker T.
No.
But I do want to say that even with something like these youngsters and millennials, and I love you guys, but they swimming on the beach. They
not smart. Now that's what's not smart.
Now see, I didn't say y'all wasn't smart. The mother said that.
No, I'm talking about swimming on the beach. Being that I saw pictures of people in Florida on the beach. I mean, there was like thousands of people.
All I'm saying is
not smart.
What I hear the government saying and what I see our local officials saying, and then what I'm seeing don't match up. So I can't say whether you're smart or not smart or any of that. That's not for me to say. But what I am saying is, I want us to get through this together. I want to look out for the elderly. I want to look out for the kids. And I just want us to be able to get through this and get back to our regular life. That's where I am with it.
I agree 100% with that. So let me just tell you, there are some things that you can do. Like for us, we have small businesses.
Right.
And because of the virus, our small businesses have been shut down. So basically, EduRec, our spring break camp should be going on right now. So that's not happening. 36th Street North Event Center, some of the activities that were scheduled there are not happening because, people can't gather, or it's recommended that people not gather. So there are, for companies and small businesses who have physical damages to their businesses from this natural disaster, you can go to www.damage.ok.gov and make a claim. Now, that's not to say that everybody is going to get some monetary, relief, but you can go and make a claim and let the government know what type of damage your small business, sustained as a result of this pandemic.
Now, hold on. Now, you might have said that too fast. So what I'll say, hold on. So go get your pen, go get your pencil, and go get your sticky note. Or whatever, go get your toilet paper.
Stop it. They're not writing on toilet paper. They need that.
You need to write this down because this is something we're going to be doing, and our goal and our job is to give you some news you can use. So write this down if you have an LLC, a company, or anything where you're trying to operate and this has hindered your business. So what is it again, Damali?
It is www.damage.ok.gov, and you can make a claim for your small business about any type of physical damages that your business has sustained as a result of this natural disaster.
I also heard that the government might be sending out some checks for a little $1,000, a little C note. Is that called a C note? Is a $1,000?
Boy, get out of here.
I ain't even heard nobody say C note. Is a C note $1,000?
Jump back into the 80s, 90s. What is going on?
And look, I watch Nino Brown.
Stop it.
I'm sorry. But anyway, that is something.
But yes, that is a conversation. That is a conversation that's actually happening right now.
Do you feel like the $1,000 is enough? Just think if you're a mom and you got 3 jobs and now you can't go to work and all that. What do you think? $1,000 is that? You think that's sufficient?
And so what I heard today, before I came to the show, the president was actually on speaking about, the latest updates. And what he said was that they are looking at doing it based on, or doing these disbursements based on, your income, your household size, like the number of kids that you have under 18 years of age. And so they're going to look at some factors. So some people might get more, some people might get less, just depending on, your household. So they still don't even know what that number is or what that's going to look like.
I think that's playing games, Damali, because I think everybody should get the same thing. If I got 3 kids,
right,
and if I make
but what about me? Like I got 1 kid.
No, but let me make this point because this is news you can use.
Sure.
This is just my perspective.
Okay.
If I'm a single dad, I'm always single. So I'm a single dad. I got 3 kids.
Sure.
And they're gonna look at my income. I work at wherever. I ain't gonna name a place because I don't want nobody to get mad.
Right.
And I make $600 a week or whatever. But then this other person that's wealthy may make whatever they make.
Sure.
I still feel like I should get the same thing to help me take care of my kids, because if you start basing it on income and stuff like that, they're gonna see me a check for $2.
Well, no, I don't think it's gonna be $2.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No.
If it's $500.
I don't think it's gonna be $2.
I don't want somebody to get like somebody else get like $3, $4, $5, $10,000, and then
I
get a
know,
check for
and it's
$800.
not gonna be that. We talking about the federal government now. They ain't supposed to be that
Okay,
generous.
you the researcher. I'm going with you. I'm rolling with you.
They're
on
not
it.
getting ready to be that generous.
If I get a check for $20.25, I'm gonna bring it in the radio station, and I'm gonna show it to you since you've been listening. Because I just fair.
Right.
I just want to
and
be fair.
I do agree that you do need to be fair.
My kids like ice cream and stuff too. I want to be able to pay my bills and get some ice cream.
Tiana, get your daddy.
Tiana, better tell him something.
I love ice cream.
You love
There
ice
you go.
cream.
I'm telling the truth.
She say she love ice cream.
But I think I will say that I think that it's good that they're doing that.
I
They're
do too.
even considering that because because these airlines and hotels, they shut down Las Vegas.
Exactly.
So now what goes on in Vegas?
College, all the college kids, they can't go to school. My grandson called me. He lives in Dallas. Called me and he's all upset, talking he gonna be out of school for 4 months because they shut down. Dallas is not even going back, or his school is not even going back.
Kansas did that.
Yeah.
So some are just shutting it down for the whole. You think you think they're doing that too quick? Are they jumping the gun, or do they know something we don't know?
I don't know.
They closed.
Did
you say Texas?
That's close. Just a state over. But they have a higher infection rate than we do.
Well, that makes sense.
So
it might take a little longer. We only got 3 that we know about.
Or that at last check. So so I mean it does make sense. You
so
just have
again, if you have a company or a business and like I say, this thing is affecting you, hey, go to that website. We're gonna go to the site ourselves, of course, and then we'll report back.
Yeah,
when we find out next week.
So, and then another great thing that's happening is, and like I said, most of this stuff is on our Facebook page, which is World One Development. So if you go there, then the stuff that we're sharing is information that, we feel like you would be able to use. And so it's there so that you can look at it for yourselves. But I also, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher had this on her Facebook page and I shared it. But there's information that some of these, companies that give do our electricity and gas and utilities. There you go. Yeah. So they're actually providing services without interruption.
Wow.
And they're going to work with people on getting their bills paid. So what that means is if you are having a challenge, you need to communicate that to the utility holder. So don't just expect that, they said that on the radio, so I don't have to pay my bill. Negativo, that's not what I said.
No, we didn't. Okay, so one, I just gonna say I love Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. She's still on this front line and she is always looking out for everybody. So absolutely. Dr. Crutcher, if you're watching, shout out to you, Dr. Tiffany Crutcher. And that is definitely some useful information. But Damali, now you still got to pay your bills. Now, say it one more time because people get confused.
So you still need to communicate with the utility service providers. So don't just not pay your bill.
Make a phone call.
Yeah, so just make a phone call and say, hey, I'm a school teacher. Since the coronavirus hit, we can't go back to school. So, I'm having a challenge, making my payments. So I'll just read these off real quick. Oklahoma Natural Gas has suspended all customer disconnects through April 15th. Okay,
that's
so
good.
OG&E has suspended customer disconnects through April 14th. Okay, PSO has temporarily suspended all disconnects for non-payment. Temporarily, so they don't have a date as to when they're going to resume, but they're giving people some time. Tulsa Water and Sewer has temporarily suspended all disconnects for non-payment. Cox Cable is offering assistance and plans to keep residents connected during the COVID-19 response.
I like that. And one thing too, like I said, like our Facebook page, I think we give you good stuff on World One Development, and all of this stuff we will post if it's not already there. And this is what I'm gonna do. I just try to give you some news you can use, but these are news that Charles gonna use. When I get out of here, I'm gonna get all my bills and I'm gonna highlight them, and then I'm gonna make some phone calls.
Look at your bank account.
Look at your bank account because the way my savings account and my checking account is set up, I'm gonna go through all that. I'm just saying this. I'm being honest because you can kind of look at maybe you can save yourself some money. We don't know how far this thing is gonna go. So instead of just paying all your bills, take some time to assess what you got going on.
Right.
Make them phone calls because you don't want that money to be lost if we 3 months down the road we still dealing with this thing, right?
That's right. That's right. So, and then did you know that if you need food assistance or child care assistance or prescription assistance, you can call 211.
Right.
They are there to find resources and tell you what resources are available to help you out in that situation. So, we don't want people not having food at their homes or not having toilet paper because everybody took all the toilet paper from them.
Right. Or go by Damali's mama house and she put that out there.
Right.
Mama, I need one roll, mama.
Right.
And my mama's so sweet, she'll give you a roll now.
Two rolls.
She might give you 2 rolls.
Yeah, they give me past spring break.
Exactly. Exactly. And then also that Dollar General, did you see this? Dollar General is also, they're using their first hour that they're open for seniors only.
I love it.
For them to come in and to be able to shop because they are at risk, because a lot of them have health challenges.
Shout out to the Dollar Store.
Yeah,
Shout out, that's
they were the
love.
first one to do it, and then I think now Target has followed suit, and then a couple of others have followed suit. But Dollar General was the first one to do it, so I, shout out to them. That's really good.
Right. Anything else before we hit break?
So I think.
I heard some creditors are waiving like bills and stuff up to 60 days. But anyway, I'll tell you what, coming up next, we got the Hump Day Hot Topics. So stay tuned to World One Development. News you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
Y'all gotta work with me on the sound thing. We gotta.
I like how we working it.
36. 2 minutes. I'm gonna let this go straight into commercial break. Like 3 minutes of commercials. We got a 5-minute break. And then the Hump Day Hot Topic drop. Right in
So we're in the middle of the 5-minute break right now.
Yeah, we're inside 5 minutes.
That's your girl?
I like that. Shout out to her. Shit, write it down. I like it.
What's her name?
Her name is Natalie Lauren. Like Ralph Lauren. Natalie Lauren. Natalie Lauren. That's her stage name. But she's from here. Her name is Natalie Sims. She's a Sims. She signed to Roster Records. That's the same label that started with Khalifa. It's gospel. Her dad is a preacher. You've been hearing preaching at the end of the song a little bit.
JB, you're gonna do that and last time for the Hump Day Hot Topics. You're not doing this. Come back.
Yup.
And when you do that, you just go back. You just go back and forth. Now you need to listen to the program. I say that's okay.
I said now it's time
So the drop says that.
Okay, cool.
He's gonna hit and the bell starts.
Everybody can see you.
I'm over here just
And they all look like you.
All new. KBOB 89.9 FM. Black on Black Community Radio.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
It's the Two Dogs Radio Show. Sports Talk has 2 new voices. Jerome and Young, Talking FM,
We're gonna end up
NBA, NCAA, and local sports. Highlighting legendary coaches locally and around the globe. Two Dogs Radio Show.
We still got 20 minutes.
Now.
Searching for ways to grow your business? Or perhaps you would like to invest in Tulsa's African American community? The Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce is a great place to
And
start.
then come back and
The
wrap
Chamber
up.
was created to serve and increase the visibility of needs in our community. It is an umbrella organization for local businesses, the Tulsa Juneteenth Festival, BWS Black Women in Business, and the Grassroots Economic Development Fund known as BWS The Power Group. For more information about the Black Wall Street Chamber of Commerce or to donate to the Power Group, visit bwschamber.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
Hey, guess what day it is? Hump Day! Hump Day! It's Hump Day! And Mike.
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on News You Can Use.
Oh, that cracks me up every time. I laugh every time, and I be trying not to laugh, but it's funny. I just Mike.
I want to find if I can just do that part. I just want to do that part.
I absolutely love it. Okay, so today our Hump Day Hot Topics, Julius Jones. Remember we told you guys that we were going to talk about this every single week until we reach our number.
Right.
And so we need you guys to go to justiceforjuliusjones.com to sign the petition. I checked last night, and we are 22,317 signatures away.
I mean, we're getting closer and closer.
We're getting closer. It was a larger, I think when we initially started, it was like at 27,000.
Yeah, for the new listeners, you want to give them a little context on this, just a little?
So basically, Julius Jones was convicted of a crime that he did not commit. He has, he claims that he did not commit. He has maintained his innocence for the last 20 years since he's been locked up in prison. And he is now up to be executed.
Right.
And he's been on death row. And we don't want to see this young man, it really is up to all of us to, actually exercise some compassion for, and to be able to be part of the change and not allow someone to be executed for something that they did not do. If you were on the other side, you would want the community to rally towards you and try to help you, with your defense and trying to help you get out. So we don't want this man to be executed for something that he did not, for a crime that he did not commit.
Yeah,
so,
and this is, I don't want to cut you off, but this is something that happened to a young man. I remember since it was 20 years ago, so he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he was a teenager when this happened. So I always go back to the fact that he graduated in the top 10% of his class.
Right.
I go back to, this was a young man that was going to the University of Oklahoma
on an academic scholarship.
Scholarship, and he was looking to play basketball. So I'm saying we out here fighting, because that could be a lot of us, that was doing good. I tell you what, if you graduated in the top 10% of your class,
you're doing something.
You got to go. You got to dream. You're
That's
trying to go somewhere. And then if you enroll and you get into OU, then you're continuing to follow up on that. And what we just want to say, this, I just can't imagine that happening. And we went to a event here, back February 28th. So the thing that makes it even near and dear to our heart, we was able to sit down with mom and sit down with sister, sit down with his attorney and his team that's been working on this. And he is down to his last resort. He's went through the whole system of trying to appeal this situation all the way up to the Supreme Court.
We're just trying to get him clemency.
Yeah, it got denied by the U.S. Supreme Court twice. So the seriousness of this is, if we don't get these signatures, which we will, then he has nowhere to go to try to get this clemency from Governor Stitt. So let's do our part. So what can they do to do their part?
So they just need to go, our listeners and our watchers, if you have not already done so, go to justiceforjuliusjones.com. And there is a link. There's also a docu-series about this whole incident. And so I think that, if you watch the docu-series, that'll give you more information for you to make an informed decision as to whether or not you actually want to sign the petition. And then once you actually look at it, then you'll be more inclined to sign the petition and be more informed. But anyway, click on that. Go ahead and sign the petition. It has just a couple of simple questions. It's so simple, nothing major that you need to do. And then there's also additional information about other people. It actually connects you to a website called change.org.
Right.
And what they do is try to help people who are in this same situation. There are a lot more people sitting on death row that are actually in the same predicament that he is in, that are, in jail for crimes that they did not commit. So you can look at and see some of the other people and, maybe, sign clemency orders or sign petitions for them to try to get clemency orders as well.
So what we'll say is just to the family, stay encouraged, to him, stay encouraged. And we just want to say that we're here to support, and we're going to push this every week until we get this done. So much love, stay strong. And we'll continue to keep you informed.
Yeah, so something else big that's happening is the 2020 census.
Oh, that's a big thing.
So I filled out my census form, and what you need to do is just go to www.2020census.gov to fill it out. Every American, every household needs to complete the census. Because actually it's really beneficial to us. So these are some of the things that the census does, okay? So when a disaster hits, the census tells rescuers how many people will need their help in a particular area.
Right.
It also provides information to healthcare providers to predict the spread of disease through communities with children or elderly people. The data is also used to determine the number of seats in which a state has in the U.S. House of Representatives.
That's very important.
Right. The numbers are used to distribute billions of federal funds to local communities. And the impact of federal funds and services that are critical for schools, students, and younger children, such as special education, Head Start, after-school programming, and classroom technology, is determined using the numbers that they get from the census. So basically what happens is if you don't report say for instance, your household does not report the number of people.
Right.
Then we have an inaccurate count of the number of people that are actually in our community.
Wow, that's big. So in the event of a tornado, which we have frequently in Oklahoma, in Tulsa, one, you want to have representation.
Yep.
That makes sense. And then you want to have representation to get out what you need.
Right.
So those services during those hardships, it can be, available to you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So
that's good stuff.
So again, we're asking everyone to go to www.2020census.gov and go ahead and fill out the census questionnaire, and it doesn't take long. I mean, it probably took me 5 minutes to do it. I don't know. Real simple questions. They don't ask anything, crazy. They're just basically trying to figure out your household size and all that.
And they use this to distribute billions into your community.
Billions with a B.
So we're not talking about $4 or $5.
Right.
This is the real money that come in. And I'll tell you what, a lot of times when you look at things that happen on TV, you can tell who gets this money and you can tell who do not get this money, because certain areas you notice that a tornado come through and you go back a year later and it don't look much better. Other areas, it's instantly they putting it back together. So guys, let's get to this census and vote and get the counts in so that we can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we just always want to stay informed. Sometimes there's a misnomer that, the government is doing something tricky, with the information, I don't know if that is true or not true, but we can't always be paranoid about everything. I mean, if something happened, a natural disaster happened, then I would want my area that I reside in to be able to get the federal funding that's available, for my community, so I need to do my part.
Right. So we're going to put this on the Facebook page. So,
it's going to be on the Facebook page. What do you think about this? I heard yesterday that the National Guard is now here and they've set up a post out at the fairgrounds.
You better get out of here.
Yes.
I ain't heard nothing about that.
Yes, I heard this and I'm like, wow. But I know they've been kind of talking about it. And part of it is, and of course they're not doing, or they're probably doing stuff that we don't know about just yet.
Right.
But they are, they're just in case they're going to be needed. Because I think that a lot of times, like I said, we're not taking it serious about this coronavirus. And so it may come a time when they have to, make sure that everybody's in the house and, a form of martial law might have to take place. You just don't never know.
Wow, that is something. So
they're on deck just in case.
So the National Guard they're here.
Right.
So we just want to let people know they're here. I tell you what, now I've been seeing stuff on Facebook, and I see the train going by, and I saw all the little vehicles on it. So in my mind, I was thinking, is that real? Is that people just?
And some of that is old stuff that's been on there for a long time, and people are recirculating, the old stuff. But it is a real possibility that if people really don't take this seriously.
But what my thought is, like in San Francisco, they like on 24-hour lockdown. I won't want to say lockdown, but it got to be locked down. You can't come out your house. The same thing. But I'm thinking that's where National Guard come in. That means
to make sure that you're doing what they done mandated, right?
But does that mean you can't go anywhere? Or what? I mean, what will be going on with that? I need this is news I can use, and I'm here.
So I don't know. I don't know what I think the whole point is to stop people from congregating, because that's why the virus is spreading. So, I think if you, going to go do something and come back and it's just a few people, then that's, it's okay.
Yeah.
But when you're in big, large settings,
Right.
People coughing and, then you're spread, it's more likely for it to spread.
Yeah, this is something where we'll lean on our listeners. If you listening in, if you watching us on Facebook Live, send us a little message or something. If you have the specific details that if something like that happens, what does that mean?
Right.
Then we want to give you that number again where you can call in. If our host producer guy hold that number up again, I'll give it to you. So that way, if you're a person sitting there like, they don't know, let me help them out, then you give us a call at 918-856-3873. Again, the number is 918-856-3873. So if you have some specifics that, y'all, I know about that and I know what's going on. Don't be giving people some information that's not accurate, because hopefully we don't get to that. But our job is like we mentioned the coronavirus last week, and look what the difference
Just in
one
a
week
week.
made. So in another week, we
Hey,
don't
you know what? And something else I found out today too when I was watching the press conference is that HUD is suspending all foreclosures and evictions through April.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big
So,
one.
HUD. One other thing is that the two military ships are now being pulled into port, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. And what they are they're like floating hospitals, basically. They have 1,000 beds. And so just in case, not saying that we need this now, so don't start panicking and don't start running to get some more toilet tissue, because it's not like that.
Because what we're trying to do is always just give you some news that you can use in the event that you're not, up on these things. But at the same time, if you're washing your hands and you're doing everything the right way, you're going to be just fine, okay? It's all love, it's all family.
Yeah. So the ships are the Mercy and the Comfort that are actually going to be, one's in New York and one is currently in San Diego. So.
All right, I'll tell you what. Well, this is news you can use on KBOB 89.9 FM. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to come back and wrap it up.
Yep.
KBOB, the home of the Bobby Eaton Show, the Juice Radio Show, and Two Dogs Radio Show.
You better RESPECT me.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. Stay connected and call us now at 646-716-5525 and press 1 to go live.
To fit back into the community as productive, valuable citizens. They help scale various classes such as anger management, and mental health. They also work with different programs to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2171 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
And then when it's time, we just
Hi, I'm Denise Parker with Midtown Embroidery. We do it all for meeting promotions,
So when you
spring
tell
printing,
us 10
embroidery,
seconds, I said,
uniforms, Greek lettering, workwear,
And then start getting ready to go to break. Don't just rush into
small
it.
and no location too far.
We're going to break right now.
no, but I'm saying, but we'll be wrapping up though, right?
We'll be right back. We got to hold that
Right
thought
now,
down.
get off, stop.
Stop the press.
So when we get to that point, I guess, because I remember this thing.
You can also follow us on Instagram
Yeah,
and Facebook at
y'all can just wrap up.
We had to do our outro. That's what I'm talking about.
That's part of your wrap up.
Dawn Street here, CEO of Underground Street Studios, your one-stop shop for graphics, web design, and art.
You still have to do everything up until
Workshops. We also
We'll
have
say the social media
elders
stuff.
in the
the
realm
social
of
media.
Oh, I got you.
technology. And if you're looking for
the outro starts saying if you would like to promote or
you can find
advertise.
us online at www.utreep.com. That's
And
letter U, TREEP.com. So if you're interested in any of these services, feel free to visit Underground Tree Studios online at utreep.com. Peace.
we're back.
You're listening to World One Developments news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM, and we're back with our upcoming events. Damari, what we got coming up?
Absolutely nothing.
You bet. You done told everything. Oh, wasn't that so sad? You done said absolutely nothing.
Yes.
We can think of something.
Everything. Well, okay, so one thing. One thing. So on March 23rd, Tulsa Public Schools are going to be offering meals for students. So what you need to do is go to www.tulsaschools.org to find out locations and what their procedure is, because it's still going to be, we're operating with, safe practices.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, if you have kids at home, because this is the other thing that's huge is, kids are not being able to eat breakfast and lunch.
So this is big that this is happening. So you need to know. So when does it start?
March 23rd.
That's Monday?
That's Monday. And so you need to consult TulsaSchools.org to get information as to what locations, because not every school is going to be offering it. So they're going to be at specific locations because we have to keep the community's health.
Yeah, so we don't want nobody hungry. So make sure you go to www.tulsaschools.org, and it's going to give you all of the information that you need.
Right, and then everything else is shut down.
Everything else is shut down. So we're going to say,
no concerts, no nothing.
Look, get your Netflix out. We don't want nobody sitting around the house getting fat, so get your Zumba out. Play Monopoly, Uno.
Right.
I mean, it don't have to be all bad, y'all.
And you know what? There's even stuff. One of my friends shared a link, who's a school teacher, shared a link to a website where you can go to be able to offer activities for kids and like educational games.
Good.
And educational stuff. So I posted that on World One Development's Facebook page. So go there and it's broken out by grade. So it's first grade, second grade, all the way through. So you can go in and find some activities for your kids instead of them being on, social media doing nothing.
And you guys got to go to because we only here every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. But we want you to go to our Facebook page, because when you go to our Facebook page, you can get a lot of good information throughout the week when we're not here.
Right, exactly. So, I would say, in our closing, everybody exercise social distancing.
Right.
Everybody exercise hand sanitizer, making sure that you're washing your hands, sanitizing stuff.
No more going in the bathroom, using the bathroom, and walking out. We're going to stop that. It's a movement.
We should have stopped that a long time ago. But yeah, you're right. That. Yeah. Try not to congregate. I know, that's hard. When you and especially like what we do. We're in community development, so we're always at a meeting somewhere, or always at this or that or whatever. So actually, it's kind of been good for me because I can get caught up on some paperwork.
Right.
So working from at home.
You can use this for something. And for the people who decide to travel, I'm just saying, consider the people that stayed here that's trying to do all the right things. So if you have traveled to California, Florida, and things like that, be courteous, right? And to the people that you're going to be around, and make sure you're okay, because we here sanitizing and cleaning and doing all we can. Now here you come done blew in from a high risk area, and you want to hug and kiss everybody.
Exactly.
Now we love you, but let's get you back right first.
Exactly. Just remember that we're all in this together.
There you go.
This is our community, and we need to just be mindful and love on one another and stop fighting over toilet tissue, y'all. Come on.
We ain't gonna do that. Now, Mom already got to go borrow some from Mama. Mom, I'll be over there about 3:30. About 3:30 and down to a half a roll. Y'all help me out.
Right. Hey, and so if you guys like that song, JB played a song in our last break. It was by Natalie Loren Sims. Natalie Loren is what she goes by as her stage name, but she's a local artist, so you guys need to support her.
That
was a nice song.
I need that. I need to put that in my rotation.
Exactly.
Hey, that's how you support locals, right?
That's right. We got to support one another.
We showed some love today.
Yes. So I think that's all we got to report for today.
Man, you got to remember, we're here every Wednesday, right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. I'll say ABB, BB, CBB. Oh, but I'm back. But we're here every Wednesday from 1 to 2, and we can't have guests for a little bit, but we'll be here.
Right.
Laughing with you, talking with you, and if you have a topic, if you have something you want us to discuss, then hit us on our Facebook page or call us. I gave you the number like 4 times, so hopefully our phone is working, or we'll call cops.
They're not cutting off phones yet.
Okay,
so ahead. Yeah, and the thing is, this platform is available. You guys can hit us on our Facebook page, as we said, world1development.org. So anyway, that is our show for today.
Yeah.
Charles, what you think?
I tell you what, you've been listening to World One Developments, news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM.
This hour's part of the show is being brought to you by Sometimes You Gotta Laugh to Keep From Crying.com.
If you would like to promote or advertise your events or business on our show, inbox us on Facebook at World One Development. This has been World One Development's News You Can Use with Charles Harper and Damali Wilson. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host and their guests, and not necessarily to this station, organization, committee, or other group or individual associated with KBOB 89.9. This is World One Development's News You Can Use.
Ladies and gentlemen, all new KBOB.